Hi, and welcome to this episode of On the Money. Changes to the lower company tax rate are now law. This means the definition of a base rate entity has changed by replacing the carrying on a business requirement with a passive income test. For the 2017-2018 income year, a company will be a base rate entity and eligible for the 27.5% lower company tax rate if 80% or less of their assessable income is base rate entity passive income, or they have an aggregated turnover below the $25 million turnover threshold. This will increase to $50 million for the 2018-19 income year. Learn more about these changes and how they'll affect you by talking to our expert team. As of July 1, 2018, if your company employs 20 or more people, you were required to implement single-touch payroll unless an exemption was granted. But what is single-touch payroll? It's a reporting change for employers that reports payments such as salaries and wages, pay-as-you-go withholding, and superannuation information to the ATO from your payroll solution each time you pay your employees. Subject to pending legislation, from July 1, 2019, single-touch payroll will also be expanded to include employers with 19 or fewer employees. Ensure your company is compliant with the new single-touch payroll system, as penalties will be handed down to those that aren't. For the 25th consecutive month, the Reserve Bank of Australia has kept interest rates on hold at the record low of 1.5%. The last time interest rates were cut by the RBA was back in August 2016, and the last rate rise was 8 years ago in November 2010. With some home loan lenders raising their rates independently of the RBA and economic data generally weaker over the month, there was never any doubt rates would be kept on hold. The market had priced in no chance of a change, and the odds of an interest rate hike have once again been pushed into the future. Australians should prepare for the longest and deepest housing downturn in modern history. Economists are predicting that house prices could fall as much as 12% over the next 4 years, as the full effects of tighter credit and higher mortgage rates are felt across the nation. Last month, 5 of Australia's 8 capital cities recorded a fall in house values. Sydney, Melbourne and Perth are leading the current decline, with house prices down 2.2% since they peaked in September 2017. Amazon has landed in Australia, and the Australian retail industry has already begun to feel its effects. July's ABS figures show retail sales were the same as the previous month, meaning that there's been zero growth. The arrival of Amazon Australia and the rise of online shopping will affect the 1.3 million Australians working in retail, as more people reject the high street and opt for the convenience of shopping from an online retailer. Time will only tell, however, if the arrival of Amazon Australia will lead to a feared retail jobs Armageddon. From July 1, 2018, if your business grows, produces, manufactures, distributes, imports or sells food in retail stores in Australia, you need to ensure you're in compliance with the new country of origin labelling laws. These new labels became mandatory after a 2-year transition period and will allow consumers to easily see what percentage of the product was grown or produced in Australia and where it was packaged. Customer fraud is the #1 economic crime in Australia, with organisations experiencing a significantly higher rate than the rest of the globe in the past 2 years. Almost 2/3 of all fraud and economic crime came from external sources, compared to less than half just 4 years ago. However, 60% of these crimes were committed by someone close to the organisation, such as a customer, supplier, consultant, or agent. Especially at this time of year, it's important to remember that the ATO is extremely vigilant against scams and fraudulent activity. If you believe you've uncovered a scam, you must report it immediately to the ACCC. That wraps up this episode of On the Money. If you'd like further information about these or other accounting issues, we welcome your call or email. See you next time.